Idris Elba and Sheldon Copley versus a pissed off Simba. Count me in. In the new movie Beast, Idris Elba plays a doctor who takes his daughters to Africa. He meets up with a good friend of his that lives in Africa, and they go on a little bit of a trip. Unfortunately, they have to be attacked by a killer lion who's really pissed off more so than most lions and must fight to survive. There's really not much to say about Beast. It's a perfectly solid movie for what it is. Like, you basically get what you pay for when you buy what you see in the trailer. If you saw what you saw in the trailer and you liked what you saw, you're most likely to get your money's worth. If you weren't at all interested in it from the trailer, then you probably might as well just skip it, because it's basically what the trailer promises you. Idris Elba, Sheldon Copley, going against a lion, and for about 90 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a very brief film to sit through, and it gets the job done. It's well directed for the most part. The CG work on the lines is good for the most part, even though there's definitely some shots here and there where it's kind of obviously a CG lion, but for the most part, it does a good enough job. And the performances, at least between Idris Elba and Sheldon Copley, are really good. And the daughters, well, the teenage daughter, I forget their names, but the teenage daughter is good for the most part, while the younger daughter, well, she does fine. She does the best she can, but there's definitely some deliveries that could use another take. And there's some very obvious ADR work at times, but for the most part, the performances are good. Cinematography looks really good at times. There's some really good shots in this movie, for the most part. Even though I think there's an opening scene that involves it during at night where it gets a little too blurry looking at times. I know it's not easy to shoot a movie at night, but it's very obvious there's no proper lighting during the opening scene of the film. So outside of that, it's a very well shot film. The only problem I really have with the film is that it's one of those movies where characters would do dumb things just for certain situations to happen. Like whether they get out of the car when there's a lion right outside. I think they would be smart enough to know not to go outside, but yet they go outside the truck anyways. They might be trying to have a good enough reason to do so. It's still a very stupid reason to do so. But outside of that, the only thing I really think of is that it's just one of those movies that you watch and you get what you pay for, and that's it. There's not really anything great about the film. It's not a great film. It's just a simple movie about Idris Elba trying to keep his daughters alive from a killer lion. That's about all there is to it. Does it work? Yeah, I thought I had a good time with it overall. For what it was, I liked it. Like, the movie's well acted, well directed. They give just the right amount of character background for all the characters to really actually do root for them and want them to live. But the movie's nothing great. It's not like one of those movies you gotta find yourself wanting to rewatch again anytime soon. It's a simple one and done. For what it is, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I think for what it is, it's a good enough film. For me, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Nothing great, nothing amazing, but overall, I did like the film. It's not a movie that needs to be seen in theaters, but if you liked what you saw from the trailer, it is a decent 90-minute distraction that'll keep you busy.